Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everybody. I had to get this out the way and really wanted to not miss a week of uploading. So today we're going to react to Iman Gadzhi's funnel, content planning, blueprint, whatever you want to call it. I recently watched a video, or actually two videos, where he talks about this funnel. I think he dropped this video about a month ago. If you want access to it, DM me on Twitter. And then he also just did a recent interview, I think last week, which I thought was really impactful in some capacity. And I really learned a lot about how he structures content and how it works into his different ecosystem of businesses. And also, I really wanted to start doing these reaction videos, kind of like a series of a marketing specialist who has experience running his own ad agency for local home services businesses, also for realtors and for mortgage loan officers, and then a little bit of direct-to-consumer businesses. I really have a lot of insights into advertising and kind of how everything works online. So I thought that maybe reaction video or a series would be kind of cool to do on YouTube. So that's why we're doing this. This is really an interesting funnel build and kind of the way he thinks about content in general. You know, obviously he's reached crazy heights in info space and info product businesses. I've been watching this guy probably since I was a sophomore in college, probably around 2017-ish, something like that. And he really has inspired me in quite a few ways to think about business in general, and also some of the lifestyle stuff that he has posted and done in the past, I think has been really cool. So this funnel really goes through a lot of it, and let's just kind of dive into it and see what it has to offer. All right, so hopefully you guys can see all this. I don't know why I just started that off like it's a Zoom call, but anyways, this is what the blueprint looks like. If you want access to this, let me know. Just DM me on Twitter or comment down below. I can maybe send you a link. I don't know. But basically, this is where it starts. In a way, he kind of took Gary Vee's, I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was like early 2019 or something like that, where Gary Vee dropped this playbook. I think I still have it somewhere actually around here, but it's basically a playbook on how to redistribute your content. Essentially, it was like a funnel, or it was like a pyramid where the top of the pyramid was kind of like your long form content, and then you just distribute it and rework it and kind of repurpose it for, you basically repurpose it for like, written content, blogs, short form, YouTube clips and stuff like that. He kind of took that same pyramid, but really structured it in a way that works really well with his businesses. I think he mentioned in one of the interviews that he has 5 to 6, maybe 7 like public companies, and then obviously he has some other ones that he's invested in that he doesn't really talk about. But I think for what's public and what's out there, the content pyramid that he I don't know if he got it from Gary Vee or not, or maybe he just learned it on his own, but him and his team use it to a point where it's really thought out and methodical in a way to where all the different businesses kind of sit in place on the different parts of the funnel itself, of the blueprint. So let's kind of dive into it. And I think he puts in here as well, I think this is a really interesting note that he only really collabs, and this is true, I don't really see him collabing with like random pages or channels on YouTube and other Instagram stuff and TikTok or whatever. I think he actually methodically uses these different creators' audiences to fit himself in. And I think this is a good thing for you guys to point out, is to just like find audiences that you'd like to tap into, and then also find different ways to collab and work together with those audiences. I think that's pretty basic in a way, think about it. But he did note that he has all these content with different audiences that funnel back to his full ecosystem, which does make sense. So within those companies I just mentioned, he does also have physical businesses, like physical goods. I think he has Gadzhi, which is kind of like his eyewear brand, and then also his Big Day, which is like I think it's kind of like a Celsius, which is funny because they don't actually have that overseas, I don't think. Like when I was in the Philippines about a month ago, they didn't have like any kind of like Celsius or like, pre-workout, whatever. I think it's kind of cool that he has this. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks kind of good. I guess it's like electrolytes or whatever. And how this part of the business works is that he has a unscripted channel, which is basically just their vlog channel. And in one of the interviews I watched, he basically just said that like it's different when you want to sell physical products, because physical products, they want it to be part, like he's talking about the customers. He wants to basically have these lifestyle slash, fun content where basically him and his friends go and travel the world, whatever, do cool stuff, and seamlessly integrate these products into their lifestyle, which then, if you think about it, makes sense because a lot of people who like physical products and like the things that they buy, things that they purchase, they see it from somewhere. And, I think this channel is already closing in on like 500,000 subscribers. So if you think about it, like that's kind of insane that even if you just take 1% of that, 5,000 people watch a video. Wait, that's not right. 50,000? No, I don't know. I'm not good at math. Basically, 1% of these people will buy these products or whatever. And I know that's kind of like a stupid metric to like base off. Like the 1% metric is kind of like really dumb to think about because that's not anywhere in any of the businesses I've ever worked with to be accurate. It's actually way less than 1%. So even if, less than 1% of 500,000 subscribers purchase the sunglasses or purchase these, it's obviously really cool to see, probably on his end and probably his business end to like the team itself to see. And you got to remember, right? Like this is like free traffic, basically, if you think about it, if you take out the cost to have the media team and to have the editors and stuff like that. And I think I recently saw in one of the interviews that he's only spending around 20 to 30 grand a month on the media team to produce all this pieces of content. So like here, you can see that the products are featured in the videos. Basically, these are the vlogs. I think I've seen like most of them with links to purchase in the bio, which makes sense. Because if you see it, then you're like, obviously you want to see where it's at and kind of see, where you can purchase. But another note, I think I saw him somewhere talk about the fact that like a lot of the watch time on YouTube dips off around like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So he actually pitches the product in the first like minute and a half of the video, which makes sense, right? Because, a lot of the people who are tuned in are going to be seeing the videos and, probably, let's just think of an example, right? So someone's probably sitting down after work, have dinner ready, and they probably just want to tune into one of the videos, the vlogs. Basically how it works is, the first 10 minutes probably got done eating and probably another 5 minutes where they just kind of chill and watch it. So really there's not a lot of time to pitch your product. I know you want to seamlessly plug it into your video, but like, I think it's genius that the first minute or two he pitches the product. And then, I think like the perfect way to do it would be to do a highlight reel in the beginning of the vlog and then pitch your, whatever you're pitching in that vlog and then tell them to go tune into the video, which then leads into a segue into like the first clips or something. I think that's probably one of the best ways to do it. And I think he's doing it really well, obviously at a really high level. I thought that the Twitter thing was interesting because I do follow him on Twitter and I also see some of his stuff, self-development. I can see this doing really well on Twitter, doing a lot of self-development, motivational quotes and aligning with overall content strategy. That's cool. I've seen stuff like that. And then people see the post and quickly recognize the big day. And that leads to this funnel right here, which is really cool. This isn't actually a funnel. This is just a landing page to purchase. So again, physical products, I think, is more so in tune with like lifestyle-based content. So not really like showing your expertise or whatever. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to do that. I think like a podcast would be a best way to do that because then you can just have the product basically like in the frame of the podcast. But the way he does it is actually really genius, and I really like that. Lifestyle content is really good for physical products, and I'm taking note of that. And I'm sure businesses do really well. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about content distribution. Let's go into his info product business. Now, I'll say this. I have taken one of his courses before. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was called Agency Incubator, which I think was how I started Six Rings Media, actually, when we first just started working with real estate agents. So I have taken one of his courses before. It was given to me for free, so I didn't really like appreciate all that much. I got like the login info. So I'll preface everything that we're about to talk about in the info product space on this side of the business by saying that a lot of the way that he makes money is through info product businesses, which is usually a course or a coaching program, which I think right now he has 8FL, which is like I don't think it's a course. I think it's like a licensing program for basically this whole funnel and this whole playbook. So just preface to this whole thing, that is how he makes his money. And with that in mind, so basically the two things that you're optimizing for is click-through rates on your link in bio, or whether it's in your YouTube channel, or in your bio in your YouTube video, where you kind of have like a link to your product. or coaching program or whatever it is. So that's the first thing you got to try to optimize, is to try to get through that, and then also conversions on that funnel, right? So I'm strictly speaking about just the product itself. Now in the content strategy, so let's think about the two main things you got to optimize for, right? Click-through rate and watch time. Click-through rate is basically how many times your video as a package has been seen on the feed or on search, and then basically you divide that by however many times that someone clicked on it. So that's how you get your click-through rate. And then watch time is basically how long did they stay to watch your video, right? And so those are two of the things that you want to try to optimize for. And that's two of the things that keep that in mind when you're going through this funnel with me. He takes like these long form videos right here, right? See, this is 2 hours long, 10 minutes. This is 3 hours long, and then chops it up into these different pages. And I've seen like a ton of these. Basically, let's just talk about one platform. Let's just focus on Instagram. So he has these, different accounts. And I think he said that there's like 10 to 15 of these on each platform, and they're all just pumping out content that you see from here. And basically the whole point of each of these different pages is to link back to his main page, which is right here. And on his main page, he can basically pitch you anything he wants, right? Well, again, here he says 300 million monthly impressions on 10 to 15 accounts per platform. Dude, that's insane if you think about it, bro. Like, it really is crazy how much attention he's garnering. Again, I don't want to say for free, because you are paying for a media team to create this content, produce this content, distribute this content, and then also deal with the comments. Like I said, I think he's spending 20 to 30 grand a month on a team that actually does this. And I'm starting to understand the process, right? Because you could do basically the same thing on ads. Because he says that it's like ads are, getting expensive, whatever. And I understand that. You could do the same thing. Let's just say money wasn't an option, right? You could do the same thing on ads. I like this way more now, and the way that my mindset has changed towards it is because like you could then build your brand, build your personal brand doing it this way. They see your face, which is really important when building a personal brand. They also see your name, and then the different accounts too also show different things. So some of them are like lifestyle accounts, some of them are quote accounts, some of them are more businessy, technical aspect kind of accounts. Again, on all different platforms, bro. So think about that. That's 3 times 50, that's 45 accounts spread across these different platforms, pulling in around 300 million monthly impressions. I could definitely see that to be a fact, especially with how popular his YouTube channel is. Like, it's just a no-brainer. So again, these all lead to his main accounts on TikTok and Instagram, and then basically just lead into a funnel to YouTube. So let's see on here, each short form account we met. Yeah, so I just said that. In the beginning, he was doing only exclusively SMMA content, which is how I found him in the beginning. And that's basically the central funnel is his YouTube. So I guess if you take this funnel on the Instagram side, so people who are just seeing his main page right here and right here, essentially what happens is you qualify your audience through specifically for agency content. That makes sense. I've seen that before on his stuff where he is posting strictly like agency content. And DM setting process. Okay, cool. So he has an SDR basically working on the account. What does this say right here? CRM enrollment trigger. So I think how I've seen him do it is he does like these well thought out, really cool stories where it's a Q&A, and it leads to kind of just like a CTA at the very end, like the last story, which is kind of, I've seen that happen before with different other gurus, I guess you would say. So you basically ask a question, have these conversations, blah, blah, garner the attention. And at the very end, it's a CTA. Usually it's like a call out for a word or something that you swipe up with. And then his SDR probably finds them and then books them for a call towards 3 setters. Wow. And then look at all these steps in between, bro. Set contact owner. So once the lead is set with a setter, then you notify the setter, the SDR is set, you have the meeting, cash collected. There's probably a lot of steps here in between that educates. We talked about this in the last video. Basically educates the customer, also pre-sells them on the emails, and then once they get on the call, they kind of have So this is one thing I learned on Twitter, right? With a lot of people who are selling stuff via calls, you shouldn't hop on a call unless it's to take someone's money. And what do I mean by that? Basically, I'm saying that like every step prior to the call should lead to just one question or two questions regarding kind of like maybe something specific to their system or specific to their ecosystem right now. And all that they basically have to ask you, because they know from everything that you've sent them via email or whatever, text, follow-ups prior to the call, is just one or two questions. And it's either they don't want to do it or yeah, they get it. If they hop on the call, you should have a pretty good chance of closing because they've seen all the stuff, they've seen all the emails, and they have a better understanding of the product itself. And so, man, this is like well thought out. I mean, it's actually crazy, and that's just on the Instagram side. Again, on the main pages, doing a Q&A funnel and then ending it with a CTA for SDR to come in, and man, it's crazy. Wow. Okay. Let's go back to YouTube though, because that's really what I'm interested in. That's really what I'll base this video on. Again, he started off with exclusively SMMA content before going broad, which is good. And I thought about that before because a lot of people come to me and ask me about like starting a podcast or starting a YouTube channel. And then typically how it goes is like, yeah, like I want to be, funny. I want to do comedy. I want to do skits. I want to do sports. I want to do this, and this. It's like, bro, like nobody who's ever made a significant following has done it by being broad in the beginning. And I think that's what I'm learning now, which is kind of like why I'm doing more business content on social media, on my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and on YouTube, which is, what you're watching this on. Really, I'm not even trying to niche down. It's just like, I just want to talk about a specific kind of like piece of content or an industry or a field that I am really interested in or want to grow in. And I want to do that for as long as I possibly can before I start doing like vlogs and shit like that, which I do eventually want to do at some point. But again, I just want to do more exclusive, content. All right. So this part was interesting too, because two ways to think about your content is a growth content and a nurture content. And I have this laid out in my notes, and I don't want to show you my notes because there's a lot of like stuff in there that's like kind of private, but just in terms of like the business. But the way he explained it is like the growth content is like SEO friendly. So things that, and there's a bunch of like YouTube tools out there, but basically how it works is like you type in your business, your field of work, whatever it is, and then you look at the top ranking search for that kind of video, and you basically just take like the highest performing search and you just turn it into a YouTube title, and then you start your video from there. Basically, that's what a growth content is, because you're basically just pulling in all these search, basically eyeballs, think about it, and then turning them into pieces of content like this one. Nurture content, I think it's more about just, really building depth with the people who are already subscribed to you. And I think the way he does it is like day in the life, maybe doing like a milestone kind of video, buying your mom a house, shit like that. Like obviously you can't really do that in the beginning, but the way how I've done it is, I'm doing 70-30 splits, 70% growth content, which is kind of like when I'm still working out, and still working on the kind of pieces of content I want to use for growth content, and then nurture content. So like, I'm thinking about doing like these rants where it's just more laid back, more chill. And then also like these reaction videos would be, I guess, nurture content. But yeah, this is a good way for you to think about your two different kinds of content, growth and nurture. What's this line on here? So this is more just like SMMA stuff right here. But damn, how many channels does this dude have? I guess he has a channel with 80,000 subscribers, basically just talking about SMMA. And I guess this is where you sell your products. Yep. Here we go. 36,000 views. Agency Accelerator, which I think was his latest agency product. Cool. Free resource right here. Sweet. I should probably start doing that. Collecting leads for the SDRs to hit. Okay. So I guess with the free resource, it probably takes you to this booking thing and then takes you to SDR. Where does that go? Resource download, no book call, whatever. Okay, cool. Enrollment trigger. Okay, cool. This is just a regular funnel right here. So once they fill this out, process for release, download the resource, but don't book a call. Oh, okay. Sweet. And then this is when they do book a call. All right, so this is interesting right here. So they have a qualification flow. So basically what this means is once you book a discovery call with them, you basically, and he talked about this in the last interview, you basically get graded into how likely you are to purchase, which is really smart. I think I want to start doing that with my funnels, except my funnel is built on Calendly. So I guess what you could do is you could have Zapier in between to where the info that gets plugged into Calendly then gets plugged into like if and if I'm doing this right, like an if and funnel builder to where you can then grade the info that was plugged in here as to like a type A, type B, type C, A being the most likely to purchase. This the qualification flow. Because in these bookings right here, you could actually, I think they ask you like different questions to where it'll tell the SDR if you're a type A, meaning you're about to purchase, or type B you're considering, or type C, which is just kind of like an interest. And then why is there a cart abandonment flow? Why is that? Okay, whatever. And then basically you get set up into a call which a closer will meet you at, and then book, and then you close the call. And what's this right here? And then you can basically get access to Agency Accelerator, which I think is $1,000 product. Okay, we'll talk about this in a second. Which is $1,000 product. And then again, the qualification thing is so dope, man. I think something I'm definitely gonna take away from this, and actually a lot of teams should definitely take away from this, is to qualify or to figure out qualification metrics for people who book in a call with you. If you want to talk that more over, like DM me on Twitter, and I'd love to work with you on there. But basically, type A, type B, type C, and then again, here's a pre-call flow, which basically just explains what it is through email or text or whatever, maybe in a video. And then you hop on the call's closed, you get access to Agency Accelerator, teaches you how to build your agency for whatever you want to do, whether it's ads, writing, whatever. And then this is also cool right here. This is Flowzy. This is his SaaS, basically for agency owners that he owns. And so it just all works together, bro. It's insane how this ecosystem is all kind of like congruently planned to basically, like, all the products that he has in this ecosystem all work well together, which is insane. Again, it's really well thought out. This is years in the making, and it just blows me away every time I look at this whole thing, and just like, bro, like this dude. I mean, obviously, if you're a beginner, you start off with one of these funnels, right? And then you just kind of build out the different ones. But overall, I think this playbook is just crazy, bro. Like, I mean, there's parts of it too that I don't really want to get into it yet, because like, look at this, bro. This is like a WhatsApp funnel right here. So yeah, if you want to get into this, feel free, but let's count out all the businesses he has, right? So start off here as Iman Gadzhi, 2 Big Day. I'm sure this pulls in a lot of money. I think TikTok's paying like 30, 40 cents per 1,000 views. So this is already a business right here. That's 3. This is 4, Agency Accelerator. This is 5 right here. This is what is this? Digital Launchpad. Yeah, $37 a month. This is kind of like his small, not small, but like his lower ticket product. That's 5, 6. So 6 businesses right here. I mean, we all know there's probably more, but the content production funnel distribution is insane in how it works. And I hope you guys took a lot of things away from this. I tried my best to really dissect this down. If I had to narrow it down to like 3 points, I would say that, like, 1 is to have a long form video, kind of like a system, whether it's collabing, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a YouTube video. And then 2 would be to have growth and nurture content. So if you think about your content, what bracket is in, your growth content, and then also what's in your nurture content, and also how are you going to split it? And then just have like info product, whether it's something like this, where it's a one-time payment of $9.95. They just get access to information like this. or if it's a SaaS product, basically just have a conversion event that makes sense with the content you're going to be pumping out, right? So if I had to narrow it down for 3 things, that's probably it. Have a long form system, have growth and nurture content, and then just have a back end conversion mechanism, whether it's info, coaching, whatever. Really well thought out, man. This is so dope. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to try to see how often I can do this, but I definitely want to upload every week. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. DM me on Twitter, follow me on there if you want to learn more about what I do. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.